What is going on, guys? Grave here today to talk about the post that the team over at ZOS put out, kind of talking about update 47 and how they've been listening to a lot of the feedback and some of the issues that the community has. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Some of the things they talked about was kind of interesting. I kind of like the ideas that they had, but the main thing I take away from this is I'm just glad that they're doing this. I wish they would do this more often, talking with the community about what they're thinking instead of just, kind of giving us patch notes. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Since we've seen a lot of your feedback about some of the class and ability changes that are currently on the public test server for update 47. We hear your frustration and confusion about what some of these changes are being made and wanted to give you some additional context. We also understand that having to continually update your builds with every patch can be tiresome and can, of course, kind of take away the fun and enjoyment of playing the way you want, something that is a part of ESO's DNA. In considering the community's feedback, we'll be making the following changes starting in the upcoming week of the update 47 public test server, sometime after week 2. Of course, week 2 did go live yesterday, so we'll see these changes either next week or the next. Since the release of update 46, our main aim has been to prevent excessive ultimate generation by limiting the newer sources that subclassing introduced, but with a more targeted approach that doesn't hurt those who aren't subclassing. An upcoming PTS update will address the feedback we've seen with the following adjustment. A class passive that were adjusted to a major or minor heroism effect are now once again unique ultimate sources. However, the passive abilities that generate minor heroism during week 1 will now share a cooldown, so they cannot be stacked. We originally discussed this before week 1's changes, but fear that the gameplay experience with these effects would result in confusing and jarring gameplay experience, since passive cooldown cannot be messaged clearly. But we've seen a lot of discussion that suggests we're likely over worried about that. Also, they would like to introduce a failsafe to the Arcanist class mastery script with Banner Bearer. Of course, they did take away that Crux regeneration, so it's not a complete loss of power. It will generate ultimate if the effect did not generate a Crux. This one's interesting because they didn't say how much ultimate it's going to generate, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about that. They're trying to get rid of a lot of ultimate regen already with the update, but then they're turning around and putting ultimate regen on the banner. So that one's kind of an odd one there to me. Finally, we'll be looking at our Sorcerer adjustments, and these are the ones I was glad to see them kind of go back with. Lightning Form will again grant Major Resolve to retain its unique damage defensive hybrid effect. Bound Armor will again grant minor protection at its base rather than Major Resolve. Additionally, the active effect of this ability will now scale in duration with your armor rather than the flat amount. The magic and stamina increase from the ability and its morphs have been moved to Dark Magic, which will exist on the Blood Magic passive. And here was the big one to me, is Bound Armaments. This one needed to be buffed. It's needed some work for a little bit now. You will have a chance of applying Sunder, so it reaches a closer power level to Grim Focus morphs. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see what those numbers are actually going to be, because who knows how much Sunder you're going to get. But it sounds like it's going in kind of the right direction. So overall, like I said, I'm really glad that ZOS has decided to do this, and I wish they would do this more often. A lot of times the community either likes or doesn't like something they do within the public test server or something that goes live in the game, and we really don't hear a lot from them. This was a great thing to me to see the team kind of put this out. Of course, this came from the community manager. They were just passing along the message from the combat team and stuff like that. But I really am kind of curious what you guys think about these changes. Some of them are kind of strange to me. Like I said, the Bound Armor one I like, the Lightning Form one I like. The Arcanist change is kind of strange, considering they're trying to get rid of ultimate gain. I'm not sure about that one. But just overall, I really like what they've done here. I'm hoping we see more of this going forward. There's been a lot of kind of dislike with update 47. Some of the changes kind of feel like we're going backwards once again, and I was really hoping for more positive changes within the game in general. I've talked about this, and I talk about it all the time in every video. I want to see things buffed and not nerfed anymore, go back in and buff skill lines that people aren't using in subclassing, buff gear sets people aren't using. Just buff everything up, make everything usable, make everything enjoyable. And that makes the game a lot of fun, in my opinion, because then you have a lot of options. Anyway, guys, leave me a comment with your thoughts. And, of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.